Hello and welcome to Chapter 9-8. Today we're going to be talking about some problem-solving techniques, and today's problem-solving technique is to determine reasonable answers. So a lot of times with fractions, kids have a hard time visualizing their answers, and so they just write something down and they don't think about, does this make sense? Okay, so let's practice some strategies here so that we'd be able to know, does this answer make sense or does it not? So let's get started. Leandra feeds her pet rabbit, Bounce, the same amount of food each day. Bounce eats 3 times a day. About how much food does Leandra feed Bounce each day? Okay. She feeds her pet rabbit the same. Okay, so it just means each day this is how much she gets. Bounce, sorry. So what do we need to know? Leandra feeds the rabbit the same amount every day. Right? Every day she feeds the same amount. How much food does she feed her rabbit each? Is how much we need to find out. How much food does she feed her rabbit each day? So we're adding 3/4, 3/4, and 1/4. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to round each fraction to the nearest whole number. Whole numbers are numbers that you count by. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are all whole numbers. Numbers we're really comfortable working with. Okay, so we know that 2/4 is a half, so 3/4 is really close to 1. 3/4, again, 1. And 1/4 is really close to 0. Okay, so in one day she feeds Bounce about 1 + 1 + 0, or about 2 cups of food, is what our guess is going to be. So Leandra feeds Bounce about 2 cups of food each day. Now my question is, do I need to find an exact amount? Do I need to add 3/4, 3/4, and 1/4? No, because it says about. So the estimate of 2 cups is close to the actual amount of 1 3/4 cups of food. If I were going to add 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 1/4, I know that this right here makes 4/4 or 1. And then if I bring down my 3/4, they're adding about 1 3/4 cups of food. All right, let's go to the next one. Here we have Jonas needs to determine how much wood to buy at the store to make picture frames. The dimensions for each picture frame are listed in the table. About how many feet, so again, there's that word about. Do I need an exact answer? No. About how many feet of wood does Jonas need to buy to build 5 frames? Build 5 frames. Oh, gotcha. So we have the top, the bottom, the left, the right, and then I need to multiply that by 5 because he wants to build 5 of these frames here. Okay, so what do I need? What do you know? I know he wants to build 5 frames. And I know the dimensions, which is how long is each side. So I'm just going to draw an arrow. All right, that's what we know. Top, bottom, left, and side. Right side. Left and right. What do I need to know? How many feet of wood does he need to buy? My plan is to find how much one picture frame needs, then multiply by 5. See how many 5 would be. Okay, so 5/8 is close to, I'm going to do 1/2, you guys. We can add halves together, because especially I have 2 of them. So 5/8 is close to 1/2 foot. Here's what I'm going to do. 5/8 is about 1/2, And then 3/4 is about 1 whole. Okay, so I have 2 wholes, 1 plus 1. And then I have 2 1/2s. Because I'm looking at my numbers, I said this was about a half and this was about a half. Here they are. Doot, doot. And this is about a whole and this is about a whole. Here it is. Boop, boop. Okay, so if I add these together, I would get 2 and 1/2 plus 1/2. If I have half a banana and you have half a banana, together we have 1 whole banana. So it's going to equal about 3 feet. Is how, oh, that's how much one picture frame needs. But what did the question ask us? 5 frames. So I need to take 3 times 5 frames to get a total of 15 feet. Is how much wood he needs to build 5 frames. So does it make sense? Yes, it does, because if I took, okay, so here's what they want us to do. If I did 5 times 1 to figure out how many tops, oh, sorry, this would be the right, plus 5 times 1, which would give us how many left sides I need, plus 5 times 1/2, which would be 3.5. Oh, sorry, 2.5. All I did is I said, what is half of 5? Half of 5, 2.5, 2.5, right? Plus 5 times 1/2, which is again the top and the bottom, which is again 2.5. So if I take my 2 2.5s plus my 2 5s, I would get 15 feet. So it is reasonable. So they said just kind of, instead of finding how many does one picture frame and then multiply by 5, if you said how many top boards do I need? How much would I need to do the bottom boards? How many would I need to do the left side? How many would I need to do the right side? That's what they were saying. So there is that one for us. That was a doozy. All right, so this is on your homework page. So if you skip forward to page 662, you'll see this one up on the top. Alyssa needs 7 5/8 inches of ribbon for one project and 4 7/8 inches of ribbon for another project. If she has 11 inches of ribbon, will she have enough to complete both projects? Explain. So I'm going to look at my 2 numbers and I'm going to round them or estimate them to the nearest whole number. 7 5/8 is going to go to 8 inches. 4 7/8 inches is going to go to 5. If I take 8 plus 5, I would get 13 inches. So does she have enough ribbon for her project? No. Why? Because 13 is greater than 11 inches. She doesn't have enough due to our estimate. Okay, let's look at another one. Josiah has a piece of wood that measures 10 1/8 feet. He wants to make 5 shelves. If each shelf is 1 3/4 feet long, does he have enough to make 5 shelves? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 1 3/4 feet and say that's about 2 feet. He wants to make 5 shelves, so if I multiply 2 feet per shelf times 5 shelves, I would get he needs 10 feet of wood. So does he have enough? Yeah, because he's got 10 1/8 feet. And I even rounded up. So yes, he does. And I'm going to say 10 1/8 rounds to 10. 1 3/4 rounds to 2 feet. So 10 feet divided by 2 feet equals 5 shelves. We kind of went the other way. We said we did feet to how many feet on each shelf, multiplied that by 5. But you could go both ways. So there's a little way to just kind of see it both ways, but we know he has enough. After school, Felipe spent 1 3/4 hours at baseball practice, 2 1/4 hours at homework, and 1/4 of an hour getting ready for bed. About how many hours after school will he be ready for bed? Okie dokie. So for this one, I'm going to take 1 3/4 and round it to 2. Oops, sorry, saying 2, I'm supposed to be writing 4, is about 2 hours for baseball practice. 2 1/4 hours is about 2 hours. And then we have 1/4 of an hour, which is about 0 hours, right? That's just 15 minutes. So if I add all these together, I would get about 4 hours. So notice my beautiful work that I don't really have to write so much up here because I showed my work so well. So about how many hours will he be ready for bed? 4 hours. It says to explain. Look at my beautiful work. That is a good explanation right there. All right, Kamain and a friend picked apples. Kamain picked 4 2/3 pounds, and his friend picked 5 5/6 pounds. About how many more pounds of apples do they need to pick to have about 20 pounds of apples altogether? Explain. Okay, so here's what I'm seeing. I'm going to have to add how many pounds Kamain picked and how many pounds his friend picked. And then I'm going to have to subtract that from 20 to see how many more they need to get to 20. So 4 2/3 is about, sorry, I should use the same, is about 5 pounds. And then 5 5/6 pounds is about 6 pounds. So his friend picked more. Okay, and then I need to add these together to say total they picked 11 pounds. So how many more pounds to get to 20? Well, I need to take 20 minus 11, and I'd say about 9 more pounds. Okay, they need about 9 more pounds to get to 20 pounds altogether. And that's all that I have for you today. Thanks for watching.